I went to animation school, and I had sort of a basic art training and training in animation, and which is kind of like art school geared towards specifically that movement, characters, expression. Studied a whole lot of life drawing, just to be able to draw simple characters that have emotions. You have to know human anatomy really well, and that was where I got interested in that. I mean, basically, I grew up watching too much TV, watched a lot of cartoons, and but then I got the VCR where you could stop the frames, and I noticed that there was a lot more going on there than you see when you watch a cartoon. So. And I guess I watched a lot of nature programs as a kid, and so I just I developed this idea, and it was sort of my terminal project in a way, also at animation school, which I finished 9 years after finishing animation school. So it was a really long project, working on it on and off.
My background, let's see. I have a BA in fiction writing, and so I've always loved telling stories. And over the years, I've acquired a couple of master's degrees. One is in English with a film studies emphasis, and then recently my MFA in digital arts. And I just really, there was a time in my life when I thought I'd be a novelist. And my goal in life really is to tell stories that hopefully create some kind of change, either on the individual level or on the social level. And then I realized that people read less than they used to, and so I thought that making films would be a good idea. And so I got into my first master's program, and studied film theory, and then made a film for that terminal project. And after the process of making that, I just realized that that's really what I'm supposed to be doing, is making films. And so yeah, so far I've done it with zero money, and so I'm hoping from here on out to actually have funds, so I can hire a real sound person and a camera person, because I did a lot of it myself. Anything else? Yeah.
Well, I got a few things and a few questions. For one, I was pretty amazed at how professional the animation seemed, and I'm wondering, have you done quite a few others to get to that point, to do something that big?
Not really. I did all the things that I did in school. I did some. I had some jobs where I was doing animation, but mainly I sort of cut my teeth on this one. And maybe that's partly why it took me 9 years to finish, because I was very meticulous, but I was learning a lot as I did it. And in fact, it took so long to finish that by the time I got near the end of it, I had to redo some of the scenes that were from that I had done years before, partially because literally the kind of paper I was using was obsolete. Because animation paper, this is the traditional flipping the papers animation, and the paper has pegs, has holes in it that match these pegs, and the kind I was using, the Acme pegs, became no longer the industry standard, and I had to switch to the other kind and just redraw them. But also my style had changed at that point too, and I had to make the styles match. So it just took a long time.
Were you pretty amazed or impressed when that was chosen as the best animation after not having done that much of it before?
It was incredibly rewarding. It was my first film festival that I had ever gone into. So it was the first film festival I got into. That I actually went to it, and then won the award. It was the greatest. It was the greatest. I love that.
I've got a few questions for Johnny too. Well, I just wanted to say that I was really moved by that, and I compliment your brutal honesty of depicting that kind of a situation. And a few things I was wondering about. Now, you took that from a short story and developed it into something a little different, or did you really follow that short story pretty much?
I tried to follow it, but found that that was impossible to do. And that's why there's a lot of voiceover, because I really wanted to maintain this sort of literary quality. And so it was really difficult to write it in a way where I could do that and not just have this overkill with voiceover. And sometimes I still feel like there's too much voiceover when I watch it, but there are a lot of things that I left out. The relationship with the friends doesn't get developed in the film. The mother-in-law doesn't get developed the way it does in a short story. So yeah, that was all very hard, and I wish I could have found a way to do it, but didn't.
Were you trying to fuse that with your own situation or your own family or something?
I mean, is it autobiographical?
No, I mean, is it like a mix?
Are you married to Jack?
I'm just saying, it seems to me like it could be a mix.
I don't know anyone like Jack. No, well, people ask me that a lot, and I don't know if it's because I'm in it. I use myself in my work a lot, and so I think a lot of people think, and I have made an autobiography, and so I think sometimes people wonder or assume that, but usually the way I work is, I would say things that I may come from my own experiences, but it's not a direct reflection of my life. It might come from the essence of something I felt in a moment or something someone said, and then I take that and sort of conflate it with things other people have said to me about their lives, and then it becomes something else, and by the time I'm done with it, I don't feel like I exist in it at all. It doesn't feel like it's me. So.
Just one other
Let's make
thing.
sure that we give up, if you don't mind, make sure, or is there anyone else?